It's so hard to hold on to empathy for people who do shit like this.
What's good, people, and welcome on another episode. How are you guys doing? I hope you all are doing great. And if you are joining for the very first time, thank you so much for being here today. There's this black woman on TikTok who have been going viral since she posted a video of how she moved to Japan and then Thailand with just $7 left after she booked a one-way ticket to Thailand. She said she arrived in Japan and she spent a day and then realized how freaking expensive Japan is, and then she decided to move to Thailand with just $7 left to her name, and now she is homeless. People are reacting to this video because they are thinking that that is not the smartest move to take. And now that you post that video, are you expecting anything? Because you're telling us that you're homeless. What exactly it is do you want us to do? Because how are you this grown and moving to a place where you know nothing about the place, you know nothing about the job market with no money? How do you expect that to be enough to get you a living? Immediately she posted that video, it quickly went viral, and people are just coming at her because she's receiving so much drags. There are people even directing the drag to, travel influencer who make it seem like it's very easy to just pack your bags and move somewhere and be thinking that you'll be able to survive there. It's a whole conversation about this lady just moving and having just $7 left and being homeless. So without wasting much time, let's just get right into the video.
This is how I ended up homeless in Thailand. I booked a one-way flight from Louisiana to Japan, not having any plans and knowing anything about Japan. I just left. After being in Japan for a day, I realized Japan was extremely expensive and I wasn't going to last here long with the amount of money that I came with. So I decided to book a one-way flight from Japan to Thailand, heading straight to Thailand with no plans and not knowing anything about the country. After staying in Thailand for 5 months, I still was not able to obtain income. I still wasn't able to figure out how to make income. I ran out of money, and that is how I ended up homeless in Thailand.
Did y'all see that black lady who's homeless in Thailand right now? So she flew to Japan and realized Japan was too expensive, so she decided to move to Thailand. And after a month, she ran out of money, and now she's homeless in Thailand. First of all, she moved with no plan, no job, no nothing. And then you make a TikTok about it, expecting us to feel bad. But, I mean, obviously, like, I feel bad because I don't want anybody to be homeless. But, girl, why would you move out of the country with just a couple $1,000s and think you're going to live off that your entire life? Like, make it make sense. We got to do better right now. So she flew to Japan.
To make matters worse, she said she had $7 to her name when she finished moving. Like $7 once buying the flights and all. Okay? For my visual learner.
This is what she had. This is what she thought she could make a whole new life out of. This is what she felt safe moving abroad as a black woman to a completely different country she had done no prior research on. This is what she felt safe to. What?
It's so hard to hold on to empathy for people who do shit like this. What were you expecting to happen? That's like 2 burritos from Taco Bell's worth of money. How did you think you were gonna afford rent, live, transportation, utilities, laundry? Like what the fuck?
With this.
I got on live yesterday and someone asked me if I had seen the video about the black woman who ended up homeless in Thailand. And since I talk a lot about living abroad and having moved abroad and lived in multiple countries, including in Asia, let's talk about this. It was absolutely stupid and dangerous, and I'm just gonna call it what it is. The person moved to Japan knowing nothing about the culture, nothing about the cost of living, realizing that Japan is one of the most expensive countries in the world. Popped on over to Thailand, which is probably where they should have started, and said that they were homeless, that they only had $7 to their name. Now, number one, I tell the story all the time that when I moved to Cairo, Egypt, I moved on a one-way ticket and I had $400 to my name. But with that story, I always warn people, don't do that. Especially since we have lived in a global pandemic and currently through multiple wars and genocides. Why ever you will put yourself in a position to where you can't get yourself back to the United States is wild. And in addition with my story of booking a one-way ticket to Cairo, Egypt, I also got a job the day after I landed. Before I moved abroad, I lived in 4 states. And there was at no point that I would move from one state to the next and not be leveling up. But to move halfway around the world with no knowledge of what it is that you're doing except to make some content is wild. Between the man who was living in a storage unit and the lady that moved to Houston to become an influencer, I'm starting to believe that this struggle content is like a ploy to get people to sympathize so that way you could just get some money. And for those of you who are wondering if there's a way to get back home if you don't have any money, there is. The U.S. Embassy will certainly give you an emergency flight if you need one. However, as I have stated on my platform time after time again, you will owe them. And if you don't reimburse them back for that emergency flight, they will take your passport. But also, what if you can't get home and you out here panhandling in somebody else's country? Have y'all not watched Locked Up Abroad? I am confusion.
No shit, Sherlock. I don't feel no sympathy for her ass. None at all. And you shouldn't either. So you bet not be donating not a dime of your hard-earned money to that girl. Not a dime. That IQ test I be talking about, that motherfuckers need to have before they start doing shit. This is a perfect example. They should have just slid her the paper like, all right, let's just take this test to see where you are mentally. Because clearly, she's slow. She's slow. That's the equivalent of going to the restaurant with no money. You're going to dine in. You're going to decide, oh, you know what? I'm going to pay for everybody's drinks. You ain't got no money. How you going to pay for everybody's drinks and you ain't got no money? Why would you offer that? Why would you do that? Why? Like the logic behind it. It just doesn't make sense. Now you need help. You come to the internet for help. Don't get that girl no money. Don't. This is her decision. Let her live with that shit. Come on, man. Don't give her a dime. Not a dime. You went to work for your money. 40 hours, 80 hours, however many hours you work. Don't give her a dime. You paid your bills. She went across the country with no money. Now she asks for your money. Don't give her a dime.
This is how I ended up homeless in Thailand. I booked a one-way flight from Louisiana to Japan.
Everyone's talking about how this person was very dumb and didn't, have a financial plan. I'm sitting here, an immigrant in the U.S., wondering, this person didn't get no damn visa. Like, this person just planned to overstay their visa and just live there. Like, Americans are just going to always American because, like, not once do they ever stop and think, I should probably get a visa for this, right? No, because they said that they're homeless in Thailand, right? But before, they were planning on living in Japan. And then they were like, oh, I'll go to Thailand instead. No, like immigration visa, none of that. No work visa, nothing. Just plan on overstaying it and posting it. If you're in the U.S., you get an ICE call.
This is how I ended up homeless in Thailand.
You know that couple that was staying in a storage unit and told all their business and got kicked out? Now this girl's picking up traction. I think she's going to get found out. Again, she says she's homeless and has no income. That means she's probably overstayed her visa, which was probably just a tourist visa. Because any long-term staying visa or working visa requires a lot of work and paperwork. So if the Thai government finds out, they're going to deport her and ban her, but that's not before they keep her in a immigration detention center. And the longer she's there illegally, the worse it's going to be. And if she is arrested, she could be facing months or years. If you're doing illegal things, you probably shouldn't be on here telling all your business. I mean, how many people have seen this now,
So she flew to Japan.
What going on, y'all? So you know what it's given? Only yesterday, I made a TikTok about people not going out without not having any money. Then come across this video with this lady moving all the way across the world, broke. But you know what part of this is that TikTok is making it so okay for people to come on this app and beg for money and beg for assistance. And there are people on here that just send people money. And I'm just like, whoa, how dare you move across this world, halfway across the world, broke? No plan. You have no plan. So first of all, when you do things without plan, that means you plan to fail. If you do not plan, this is like standard. This is a teacher and me. Standard practices. If a teacher don't plan, then that lesson will not be successful because there's only so much things you can wing. Okay. So you move across the world with no plan, no job, and not enough money. So who you expecting to take care of you? Now she's stranded in Thailand and she begging us for money to help her. Wow. But here's the gag and here's the takeaway. There's people on here that will help her. There's people that will help her. And I'm just thinking, how irresponsible is that? How irresponsible are you that you just pick up? There's so many things I want to do. Or there's so many things that people want to do. And you just don't, oh, I'm going to pick up today and I'm going to leave and I'm going to move halfway around the world. With no plan, no funds. Wow.
Y'all see that video about that girl who flew to Japan with a one-way ticket and no money? And ended up realizing that Japan was too expensive for her and ended up going to Thailand, where she's now homeless. I'm gonna blame us. I'm gonna blame us for this one. And by us, I mean the manifesting girlies, because we've done a terrible thing. We've done a terrible disservice to people. And that is allowed people to cultivate the idea that manifestation is magic. You know, cultivate the idea that they should just do it for the plot and make a vision board and you're good to go. The universe will answer your questions. And what we fail to show people is that manifesting is actually the result of a ridiculous amount of planning. And people have, for some reason, adopted the idea that planning is the antithesis of spontaneity, when in actuality, planning is what makes spontaneity possible. So we're just gonna have to take this L, manifesting girlies, and do a rebrand where we show people the hard work, sleepless nights, numerous sacrifices, careful planning, assessing, failing forward, that goes into actually manifesting a reality. It's no problem to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to start my new life. But I really want people to understand, as somebody who has pivoted many times, and I feel like I'm in the planning phase of a pivot right now, as someone who has pivoted many times, none of it was done without intention and planning and failing and trying again and showing up. It's not magic. I want people to know that that plan could have very well worked. She could have bought herself a one-way ticket to Japan and made it. The purpose of planning, eliminate the opportunities for failure. The plan could still go to shit. It can still be trashed. When you minimize the opportunities for failure and you move with intention, things have a higher chance of working out. So it's not so much that you're planning down to the T. You're simply taking the time to be intentional about removing Fisher-Price ass mistakes, like buying a one-way ticket to Japan with no money. I'm gonna give her credit for gumption. It takes a lot of bravery to do that. But bravery without any plan or intention is irresponsibility.
What do you guys think about these people's reaction to this lady's video? I feel like the very first thought that came to my mind when I came across her video was she planning to overstay a visa and then still posting that on social media? Because if you are saying, oh, you book a flight to Japan and then you use your last money to book a flight going to Thailand because you figured that Japan was too expensive to stay, you were only able to stay for a day, which is 24 hours, and then you book another flight with the remaining money you have left with you to Thailand, and then you have $7 left. Like, were you planning to, because you're probably there on a visit visa, like, were you planning to overstay and then you're literally posting this same thing online? How about if you get caught? How about if they come to arrest you? How about if they deport you and don't allow you into their country anymore? Even the same thing a guy did like a few months back where he posted that he's living in a basement with his girlfriend, like a storage, that he's able to save money, and before you know it, he ended up being homeless because they chased them out. I feel like this lady is not even being careful, or maybe she's just posting that to be able to get people to sympathize with her and probably donate to her. Like one of the stickies said that, is this a struggle content? Because if you tell your story, people are going to want to sympathize and send you money and stuff. And this particular one was actually getting a lot of people pissed, like, and coming online to get people to sympathize with you and donate for you, because there are a lot of people who have gotten help on the media, but I think people are not getting tired of this cycle. Let me know what you guys think. How on earth do you move with no plan to a whole different continent on its own? How on earth do you move with just few money, few coins left on you, and you expect yourself to survive by just creating content? Like, how is that even possible? Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you all so much for joining. If not subscribed, please subscribe before you go, and I'll see you in the next one.